One thing that I love, like completely love, is when I get in a groove and I make an amazing video. This video was rogue decks that can destroy the meta, and you guys take my advice before I give it to you. I appreciate you guys for taking my advice without taking my advice, before you took my advice. You took my advice without my advice. Fortunately, we do have a virtual world deck profile where not only do I break down the deck, I show you key choke points on how to beat it, so go ahead and check out that video. One thing that I do love about virtual world is that it does open up the meta. With True King of All Calamities coming around, combo decks can't combo as hard. The irony behind this is that it does open the meta game up for more back row heavy decks, or decks that don't need a jillion effect monsters or can play around True King of All Calamities to be really good. In this video, I'm going to be going over the top 5 rogue decks for the November 2020 format, and if it's anything like my other videos where I mention decks and people play them to success, then this should be a video that you pay close attention to, as these rogue decks are too strong. Because, you know, I'm still virtual world, even I'm playing it. The first strategy received secret support in the Phantom Rage set, and it's not as obvious as some players may think it is. The Burning Abyss strategy has been a Yu-Gi-Oh deck for over 6 years, and players are still finding a way to play this deck. Longevity is the key for the Burning Abyss strategy, and players have been trying to figure out if a PK Fire, Phantom Knight, Burning Abyss route is better or a pure route is better. And if the meta was a deciding factor, yeah, True King of All Calamities should probably point you in the right direction. I personally feel that a trap-based pure version of Burning Abyss would probably be the better route right now, mainly because when your opponent goes True King of All Calamities, you go, what monster effects? I got 5 traps in my hand. These trap cards can not only help break your opponent's board and play around your opponent's disruptions, they also fuel the Burning Abyss strategy themselves. Burning Abyss is so amazing with Absolute King Backjack. When this card is in the graveyard, you can banish it, reveal the normal trap card, set it to your side of the field, and then you can activate it. Also, seeing when the deck can turn its strategy on, Tour Guide from the Underworld is a 1-card IP Masquerena and Beatrice for 2 disruptions. Now, it's pretty obvious that the secret support from Phantom Rage isn't the Phantom Knight tier scale that will require you to play Phantom Knight cards in your Burning Abyss deck. The real secret support card for the Burning Abyss strategy is Warning Point. Warning Point allows you to target a face-up monster on the field, negate its effects, and your opponent basically can't use it for anything. Cards like Trap Trick can search Warning Point, Absolute Backjack can set Warning Point. The Burning Abyss strategy literally just got another trap toy to play with to disrupt the opponent. I feel that Burning Abyss is extremely good right now, and if the next upcoming Forbidden list is just as good to Burning Abyss as the last one, then we could see Beatrice, Seer, or Graph off the list completely, and that would definitely help. You know, I never got to tell you I'm streaming on Twitch. I'm streaming on Twitch, like, right now. So finish this video and like it, and catch me on Twitch. Monarchs is just another strategy that just simply doesn't care about what type of combo board you make. If you're playing from the extra deck, you can always get the diddly from this deck. Boy, that sounds weird. The Monarch strategy is based off of doing something that no one in the existence of Yu-Gi-Oh actually does. Tribute summoning. An old mechanic that has been there since Legend of Blue Eyes. Monarchs actually use other cards to summon cards from your hand to the side of the field. This is weird. Now, what they do have going for them is when these Monarch monsters are tribute summoned, whatever that means, they gain an effect. Cards like Thestalos the Mega Monarch, Caius the Mega Monarch, and Erebus the Huge Monarch allow you to get some really good effects from spinning cards to the side of the field, banishing, and looking at your opponent's hand and discarding a card. And then there's Ether the Heavenly Monarch, which allows you to tribute summon on your opponent's turn. Imagine being able to link or synchro summon on your opponent's turn. That would be, it exists. And then special summon the appropriate monster from your deck with its card text. More often than not, it's going to be a Karaz, which allows you to destroy cards on the field. What makes the Monarch strategy really powerful is its spells and trap cards that support it, all ranging from drawing, searching, tributing your opponent's monsters, negating monsters on the field, and preventing your opponent from special summoning from the extra deck. And since this is a tribute summoning deck, the Monarch strategy can summon monsters like Vanity's and Majesty's Fiend, which prevent your opponent from playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Kinda like what the combo decks are doing. The Monarch strategy is one of the cheapest competitive rogue decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! If you're on a budget and are looking to dominate the opponent with some powerful spells and getting rid of monsters to summon other monsters, then this just might be the strategy for you. If you were sick and tired of being hand-looped by decks like Dragon Link and Infernoble Knight, well, I mean, now you can hand-loop your opponent with this deck. It is like the OG of hand loops. Mermail is a fantastic deck. While it is relying on a ton of monster effects that True King of All Calamities could stop, they've actually been mainboarding the out for years. Damn seal the Sea Turtle Kaiju. Like, Kaijus are amazing against the Calamities right now. If your opponent is smart, they won't shotgun Calamity's effect in standby phase because they'll lose it to a Psy-Frame Gear Gamma, which is way more popular. And then once you enter the main phase, you can give your opponent a healthy Kaiju monster instead of losing all your monster effects. Between Deep Sea Minstrel and Mulling Glacia, Mermails can rip 3 cards out of your opponent's hand, and I'm not accounting for all of the other cards you could play to rip the rest. The Mermail strategy is a water-based deck that can set up some pretty good negations. Monsters like Totally Awesome not only serve as a form of disruption, but they can add water cards from your graveyard to your hand just in case your opponent does break your board. You can, have a turn 2 like some other combo decks can't do. Mermails are also amazing at going second and OTKing your opponent. Between Mermail Abyss Megalo, which can attack twice, and their other monsters you can just summon to your side of the field for free, the Mermail strategy is a deck that you should definitely consider because it's really powerful. Now again, if you are frustrated with your opponent setting up multiple negation boards and you really don't want to play Dino because while that is the best deck in Yu-Gi-Oh, maybe you're just a little burned out from playing it too much, I refuse to think that you have any negative thoughts about Dino. If you do, well, you just don't. You don't anymore now. But Grin Major is actually really good. Let me give you guys a scenario. You activate Pot of Desires, your opponent is licking their lips in the Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring Hue. Plot twist, I just wanted to banish 10 cards from the top of my deck. You summon Grin Major de Isa to your side of the field. It has at least 4,000 attack, which can run over almost every single competitive monster in a Yu-Gi-Oh card game. The Grin Major strategy can be played in 2 different ways. You have your Golden Castle Strongbird route, which allows you to special summon free monsters to your side of the field, can even give you spell and trap card disruption, but my favorite part, it makes it really hard for you to be attacked. Or the anti-meta route, which allows you to summon monsters like Fossil Dyna Pachycephalo and everybody's favorite card, Mystic Mind 2 on drugs and Inspector Border. No one knows how toxic this card is. Everybody's still really focused on Mystic Mind. This card is a terror for like modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Not to mention that the Grin Major strategy can play cards like Mystic Mind, saying that if you just summon that one monster that stops your opponent from playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And you keep the card that prevents your opponent from playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Until you can just win Yu-Gi-Oh! That's a thing for the deck. I genuinely feel that players sleep on Grin Major because it's so simplistic, players just feel that it's brain dead. So like, what are the strategies that you've been losing to? You call them brain dead too? Thought so. Pick your brain deadness. Now, there were a host of other strategies that I really wanted to mention in this video. Decks like Altergeist and Subterra are extremely powerful because they're trap-based decks. They can play around the combo and just do whatever they want to do. But since I already put my helmet on a little too tight for Grin Major, and I don't want to talk about Mystic Mind for another few minutes, then I'm gonna pick a deck that is really good and players just have not been too hip to it. If you'd like, I can give you some pointers about it. Hip pointers, you're not hip to it, so I give you. What takes the cake is Shadow Invoked. Shadow Invoked is an amazing strategy in Yu-Gi-Oh right now, just because there's so many combo decks that just can't out El Shaddai Winda. For the players that need to catch up with El Shaddai Winda, like it hasn't been summoned in other decks, but we're not gonna talk about it. What it does is what is going on outside? What it does is that it can't be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, and while it is on the field, both players can only special summon one time in a turn. This can be huge against combo-based decks. If they don't have the out, El Shaddai Winda by itself can lock them down. But the Shadow Invoke strategy is really good. It can summon fusion monsters like Mechaba, Paraga Trio, Invoked Elysium, and still have access to the other Shadow monsters in Shadow Construct, and even the underrated El Shaddai Grista. Because like, that card's actually really good and people don't notice it. it stops extra deck summons. Shadow Invoked is an amazing strategy that can keep up with the big dogs with the right pilot. I definitely think it is a strategy you should be looking into if you haven't already. Well, that is all that I have for the top 5 rogue decks that can dominate the meta. As always, I want you to post down below in the comment section, as well as destroy that like button. And of course, you might want to do that Twitch thing if you haven't done it already. I will be streaming on Twitch for a bit, so if you want the info, go ahead and check down below in the description, as well as the pinned post. Well, that's all that I got. Make sure to check out these videos, and I'll catch you on the next one.